All right, guys, take a look at this beauty. They have nephews brought over a boat they've been working on. They picked this boat up. They picked up this little trailer as well. So we had to do a little bit of welding on it and got it painted. They picked up a mud skipper outdrive and a Predator motor. But these guys have been busy. They've got this thing all wired up, got the lights, got some LED lights wired up on the front of this thing. They got some blue lights that they got on the inside of here. They actually went in and compartments, storage compartments in here. We got a battery set up on this side. We got wiring set up for electric start on the motor. This is what they picked up. They've got a brand new Predator. This is a 459cc motor. I think it's a 22 horsepower motor. And they also picked up this mud skipper kit that goes with this. It hooks on this boat. The finish on this thing is actually really cool. It's got a Hammerite paint job on it. Really clean, pretty nice little setup here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this thing into the garage and we're gonna get this thing mounted up. Once we get it all put together, I think we're gonna get this thing out, take her out for a spin and see how she does. All right, we're gonna set you guys up here and have you kind of watch what we're doing right here. What we're gonna do is flip this thing over. We can get this plate mounted onto the bottom of this thing. So, guess first things first. Guess we ought to get this thing mounted up onto here. We're gonna put this on the outside. We kind of get that motor to sit back a little bit further on here. We just want the motor, or the weight of the motor a little further back in the boat. And help to keep that prop down. I'll set you down right here. See if I can keep it from knocking the camera over. Tight there. Lock these lock nuts down. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mount this plate on the bottom of the motor here. Set you down up here. Why? A little tough to do it one-handed. We're going to want this thing kind of So they got the duck hunt coming up. These guys want to take this thing out for the duck hunt. They got the youth hunt actually going on right now. Looks like it's youth hunt actually starts a week before the normal duck hunt. We're going to take her out, take it for a ride, and see how it does and performs. We're going to try to do a little bit of work on this, so you'll probably see some more videos on this boat in the future of us maybe doing a paint job on it. Let's see if we can make a thing look like $1 million. But this was probably, if these guys enjoy this is probably just one of many they may have in the future. All right, that's good and tight. I think I'm gonna go in and get my lovely assistant, have her give me a hand with this and see if we can, she can give me a hand getting this thing set in place. Right. All right. This. Slide down on that shaft and then it's got to line the shaft up with the hole. Okay. Which way do I gotta go?
Right to, right there. I'm gonna say just towards you, like, move that way.
Guess I wasn't paying attention and actually put the you put this shaft on. Wasn't watching what I was doing. That thing's got to be facing up, so I got to turn the wrong direction. So now we got to take it loose and turn it back over. So this thing comes with grease. So you use a complete tube of grease. You hit these zerts here and here. You can pull this screw out back here and you'll get grease that'll start coming out of there. But you got to use the entire tube of grease when you do this. All right, now that we got this thing greased up, clean these up. Actually, on this one, I think we'll pull this one back off. It recommends we pull that one back off and put the screw back in. On this, looks like we got a lot in there since it's actually coming back out. Got some pressure on it, which is good. That means there's plenty in there. All right, now the prop shaft and all that's all on there. Flip this thing around and we'll start getting the handle put on and all the wiring put in. They were saying they wanted to drive with their left hand, so they were steering with their left, so that's what we were going to do. So I'm going to put this together, get this thing to slide in. Looks like there's a couple of holes in there. You kind of can set it to where you want it. And then you can drop this pin down inside there. Come over here and hold this. Let's show what I'm doing. Sand this paint on this thing's pretty tight. But I have a tool of the day called a hammer. And we'll tighten these all back up so that handle's good and solid. All right, that's on there. Actually, now let's hook up the throttle cable. So what we're doing, we're going to run this throttle cable right in between here. I'm going to tie it into that screw right there. There's another screw down there that holds the cable. Hard part with this is getting this cabled in through this little hole down inside here. Seems like I think we actually have to get the cable in first, and then we'll put the clamp on there. Get that tightened up. These motors come with a governor screw that's right in here. I think we're going to back that governor screw out of ways so we get full throttle on this. And get every bit of ponies that we can out of it. I need to make some adjustments to the throttle cable here for a minute. Make some adjustments on this throttle cable right here. See if we can get a little more wide open throttle on it. All right. That's about as wide open as you're going to get is what's right there, so we'll snug that up. All right, since we're going to swing this thing out, we are going to run some wires up through here. These are actually wires that were run from the battery. So we're going to wire this right into the motor so that we have electric start. So basically all what we're doing is we're just going to we're wiring the hot wire to the starter itself. There's a starter solenoid. We're going to take the ground. Looks like they've got it grounded right here. So we're just gonna ground it in right there as well. All right, now that we got it all wired up, should be able to fire it, but we got the prop all stuck down there. We're not going to start it yet. Had to put a piece of high performance product on here. My son gave him a little wing that goes on the motor. Actually, that's worth about 10 horsepower, so should be make this thing fly. All right, let's get the kill switch wired up on this. I've never wired one up, so if you can, gotta read some instructions. All right, first off, looks like we're gonna mount the little kill switch button right here on the handle of this thing. I think there's a little narrower spot. Looks like it probably goes right into there. So we'll get that wired in. I'm gonna set you up here all precariously on the gas tank. And we'll try not to knock it off. All right, now that we got everything wired all up, I'm pretty sure that we got it wired correctly. We got the kill switch up here. It's got gas in it, it's got oil in it. It's all been greased up. Should be ready to go. I think I'm gonna flip that prop out and set it on the stool over here so I don't have it sitting up inside the boat and hitting anything. So shut off, you start it again. Alright, now we got the wrist strap. You take the wrist strap, shut off as well. Alright, so everything's working the way it's supposed to. The power off, plug that back in. Basically, just sends everything to the ground, so it's like everything is working correctly. All right, actually we're gonna have to pull this out, and I think we're gonna flip that prop shaft around the other way and see how that, so it's not wrapping around the motor. I don't like how these wires got wrapped around this way. So pull this thing out and we'll see if we can get her switched around. All right, we're gonna pull the boat out of the garage so we can kind of swing this tail shaft around a little easier. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna swing this thing around. Try not to hit the motorcycle with the tail shaft. Get this thing flipped around. We still need to zip tie the wires. Got one of these little blocks here. Took a chainsaw and just cut a little couple of notches in this piece of wood. I got a piece of red cedar here. Set right down, holds that prop. And that way you can kind of strap that down and hold it in place. So, you don't want to lose that. If you lose that, your motor won't start. So this has a kill switch that's right on the top, so you can actually kill it right there instead of reaching up and hitting the motor. Yeah, when it's dark out, we probably ought to get a couple of lights mounted up in here and put them in here somehow, mount them up in these compartments there, and we'll get them wired in. These little blue lights that they got here kind of is pretty cool, illuminates it, kind of neat. Go grab some zip ties and we'll get this all these wires kind of zip tied up to the handlebar. They do make zip ties that are UV resistant. Probably hold up a little better for on a duck boat like this. All right, now that we got it all zip tied and it looks really good. All the wires are kind of pulled up out of the way. Throttle cable's in there, looks good. Just noticing these motors, seems like they need to be choked even just to get them to start. We're at a higher altitude here in Utah, so we could be, might need to put a high altitude jet in this carburetor. That might be something to look into in the future. But we're gonna get a video of this, getting it out on the lake. We may run out to Harold's Crane There's a little place out there, duck hunting area out there, but with the youth hunt going on, if there's a bunch of hunters out there, that's where I don't want to get the hunters all angry that we're out there racing the boat around out there. So, all right, stay tuned and we'll show you how this thing works. It's our maiden voyage. Wow, look at all the fish.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Testing out the new Mud Skipper. That felt like we just ran out of gas.
I hope not. We're gonna be pulling out the paddle.